Hey boys, welcome back to the ARPG Corner. It's been a little while since our last video and unfortunately the world called and I had to look after my businesses for a couple of days. But a good thing happened while I was away. The Wolcen developers issued Second Dawn plans for the future, basically their roadmap for the coming months, if not years of Wolcen's future. So let's delve into the patch notes together and see what they've got for us. That being said, what I'm going to do in the background is play my budding gunslinger build, which I'm hoping will become our next build guide. If there's anything you guys want to add or anything you want to see on the channel, please don't hesitate to let me know. And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe and hit like in order to stay up to date with all the happenings in the Wolcen sphere. Alright, so the update reads, "Hello everyone, it's been a month since the game was released and we would like to take this opportunity to talk about the future of the game and the decisions we've made lately. These past few weeks, our team has been working on fixing numerous issues players encountered in-game and we have many more issues to fix. The problems we encountered with the servers caused by a large number of new players also forced us to substantially change some aspects of the code to allow a lighter charge on the servers and the database requests, and there is still work to do. Despite the issues encountered, we received a lot of positive feedback about the game and many players enjoy it, which makes us very proud of the work that we've accomplished so far. That success allows us to grow, but most importantly, it allows us to make the right choices to restore more global happiness in our community." Then they move on to talk about what they've called Operation Second Dawn, which is essentially them making the top priority to issue out a bunch of bug fixes and to make the game playable and balanced in a way that's sustainable going forward before they actually get in and issue all the updates like new chapters and new leagues and stuff like that. So let's get into that in detail. "We initially planned to put a top priority on new league content and on the new chapter shortly after the release of the game. We've decided to swap the priority between the production of new content and bug fixing, game stabilization, quality of life, and recruitment during the next 4 months. This decision comes with an aim, Operation Second Dawn. Its goal is to focus on fixing several issues and invest in resources and infrastructures to make sure that the game will grow on a healthy base and a happy community." So it seems like they've taken most of the criticisms on board and the developer understands that what we want more than anything is a stable game that's relatively balanced moving forward into the future to create a good base for further improvements. Now, testing improvement. This is one of our primary objectives, reinforce the testing. We're now working with an external QA team to improve our testing process, spot issues sooner and fix them before a new version goes live. On that note, we want to inform you that patch 1.0.10 will be deployed early next week instead of this week. We've made some changes that require extensive testing and we want to make sure that it works properly. So it seems like we have a patch coming early next week and we'll try and stay up to date and cover that. Story improvements. We want to bring some love to Chapter 3 and improve the diversity and pace to make its gameplay events and encounters more appealing. In addition to adding more visual diversity, we will also add new enemies and new enemies variants. It seems like the Chapter 3 development was probably rushed to get the game out on time. That was something that they probably wanted to flesh out before the release, but unfortunately didn't get the time to. So it's good that they're going back in and actually improving the base vanilla game for new players in the future. Quality of life improvements. Localization, quality and clarity. The possibility to rebind left click, fantastic. A Gate of Fate search function, thank the Lord, hallelujah. This has been one of my most requested features. Some way to actually find the nodes that you're looking for or ones that deal with block or crit chance or whatever it is that you may want to find. Just the essentially tracking the pathways through the Gate of Fates would be so much easier had we actually just had a function to see what we need to find. Ailment stack numbers on monsters. This is phenomenal. This is something I've been wanting ever since the early beta days because, I mean, how do you know whether you've hit the max ailment cap? How do you know whether you're putting out enough ailments to maximize your DPS? How do you know you're putting out enough ailments to maximize your flat damage modifiers, based on the amount of ailments? You simply don't know how many ailments are affecting monsters at any given time, nor how many multipliers to use, what gear to equip to maximize ailments in order to optimize that. So the ability to actually see what you're inflicting on monsters is absolutely amazing, especially given that 90% of us have to use ailment builds in order to get through the game properly. A new quest reward system to avoid having a window in the middle of your screen when you receive your reward, along with the possibility to stack your reward and collect them whenever you want. All extremely critical updates, all great quality of life stuff that I think every single one of us would want from the game. Now, balancing updates. You can also expect balancing improvements in addition to bug fixing. Our goal is to improve the skills that are currently less played, so there should not be a lot of damage reduction or skill nerfs. The patch 1.0.10.0, geez guys, add more periods, will start to bring some improvements in that direction. We will, however, continue to intervene on extremely unbalanced skills, items, or nodes, as we did for Bleeding Edge if any come to our attention, which I think is fair enough. Server improvements. We're investigating options to improve our coverage, server capacities, and their efficiency. We're aware of the issues you're encountering in-game, and improving server responsiveness is one of our top priorities for solo and multiplayer. During all the alpha and beta, communication and support has been handled by only one person. Now, this is pretty obvious, I think, to those of us who've come into the game both before and after. The flood of new players was simply too much for the developers to keep up with, hence what feels like a complete radio blackout from them in the face of all of these launch issues. So it's good to know that they have taken stock of this, and they're saying the release of the game made our community substantially grow, and community tasks and customer support cannot be handled by a single person anymore. We're working on reinforcing the team so the background work won't affect our global communication with you. We know that you feel abandoned these days, but we can assure you that we're reading everything and we're working on improving our communication with you. Now, as somebody who also runs a business outside of this, I understand the issues that you can run into. There are a lot of things to absorb as a developer. There are a lot of things coming up from all different facets. People may be talking to you on socials, tagging you in various things, sending in emails, customer support forms, and you simply can't respond to every single one if you have a limited developer size. But you still take stock, you still basically put a check mark, you create a notepad list, you basically create an itemized list that you're going to work through as a developer to make these things better, but you can't always communicate that to your community in the easiest way possible. So I completely understand from their perspective that this is probably quite challenging as they face these growing pains, but hopefully in time they actually scale up to actually meet the demand on their game. Our goal is to keep a close relationship with our community, but we also have to make sure that everyone can have access to our replies. In the ideas considered, there is a possibility to withdraw from Discord to focus on communication on other media such as Reddit and the official forums to allow better visibility on the replies we make on various topics. We also want to improve our forums to ensure that they're user-friendly and have all the necessary elements such as basic search, possibility to pin, etc. These are just part of the changes that are in discussion at Wolcen Studio, and we will keep you regularly informed regarding the progress we make and changes we bring in the game and on our communication. Now, after their second dawn, we've always planned to support Wolcen for several years, and that includes regularly adding free content in the game. Now, that's some great news. What I understand, they initially only planned to support the game officially for a year or two after release, so to hear that they've scaled that up to several years and actually treat this more as like a Destiny-esque property is fantastic. The next content patch 1.1.0 will be a league, which means that unique league mechanics will be added in the game along with new content. So this is all stuff that we, as veteran ARPG players, I assume have come to expect from various games, whether they be Diablo or Path of Exile or whatever else. The characters created with the 1.0.0 will be separated from the 1.1.0 during that league, and the league characters will be merged again with the standard version when the 1.2.0 is released, and so on. So it's essentially going to work identically to Diablo's ladders by the looks of it. For each league, players will have to start a new character to play the league. New chapters are also planned. Keep in mind that it takes more time to make a new chapter than to make leagues, so you can expect a new chapter much later. We hope that you're as excited as we are regarding the changes to come. We want to thank you again, etc, etc, etc. So what do you guys think about these changes? I think as far as roadmaps go, it's probably a very positive one. It addresses most of the issues that we've brought up thus far. The fact that their priority is in ironing out base game balance and bug fixes is fantastic. The fact that they've delayed new content in order to lock down the fundamentals and make the vanilla experience really good is, well, for want of a better descriptor, very good for us. But yes, that's that. Make sure to hit subscribe and like to keep up to date with all the happenings in the Wolcen sphere, and don't hesitate to let me know what you guys think down below. Is this a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you going to be bored over the coming 4 months as they iron out all the bugs in the game without new content? Let us know. Until next time, make sure to smash the dislike twice.